Over the summer of 2020, my family and I raised and released 12 monarch butterflies into the wild to start their mystical journey. Monarch butterflies are one of the most mystical creatures we have on our planet. They travel thousands of miles to my neighboring state in Mexico, Michoacan. They do this to hibernate and come back around for the next generation. They're the only known insects to migrate similarly to birds, but not only do they do this, but they also help provide 1/3 of the world's food pollination around the world. Unfortunately though, these butterflies are on a rapid decline. Hello, my name is Marco Warr Jr. I'm here to talk about monarch butterfly endangerment. Over the past 4 decades, our monarch population has plummeted immensely by roughly 94.59%. And sadly, only 5.1 of that percent remains today. But the Western population is fading right in front of us right now. Monarch butterflies live vastly across the US, but sadly, vastly is becoming a past tense term for these creatures. In fact, according to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, they declared that the West is at the greatest risk for extinction. In the 80s, the population was flourishing with over 10 million monarch butterflies, and now that population is just 1,914 as of 2021. That is a 99.9% decrease in the West. Let's compare that if that was a human population around the world. As of last November, the population of humans reached 8 billion people. If we were to decline that by 99.9% of the people, we would only have 1.5 million people in the world now. That's the population of Western Michigan right now. And the Eastern population is seeing problems too. They decline by 70 to 90%. And the problems that these monarch butterflies face is just as devastating. One of the primary reasons why the population is decreasing is a result of habitat loss. According to the US Fish and Wildlife Services, the monarch have lost an extensive amount of habitat due to conversions of grassland to agriculture, widespread use of herbicides and pesticides, urban development, logging and thinning at overwintering sites in Mexico and California, and droughts. Though this seems like a lot, this is only the beginning of the butterfly crisis. Another reason why these monarchs are declining is a result of climate change. Monarch butterflies migrate south to Michoacan, Mexico for the warmer temperatures and to hibernate. This process is overwintering. According to The Conversation, in 2016, a winter storm killed roughly 31 to 40% of the population that was overwintering, which ultimately destroyed the trees around the area and led less habitat for the monarch butterflies, which leads to my next point. The final prime reason why these monarchs are declining is a result of lack of milkweed. Monarch butterflies depend on milkweed as the only food source that monarch caterpillars can eat and grow. According to the New York Times, females deposit their eggs from Texas as far as southern Canada to start their next multi-generational journey. With farmers constantly applying herbicides and pesticides and making more room for crops, it's only removing the chances of these butterflies having even more and more as we speak. Though these butterflies are in a really dreadful situation right now as we speak, there are current practices people and organizations are acting upon. For instance, the Department of Natural Resources states that in 2014, former President Barack Obama implemented a program to protect and spread awareness about pollinators. Another example of current practices is plant making and making sanctuaries for these butterflies. Friends of Earth implies that people can start to plant wildflowers in their gardens to help monarchs pollinate and native milkweed to provide for their eggs. Now I would like to talk about my interview. During my capstone project, I was looking for a local organization to contact, and the Highlands was the right organization to contact. The Highlands is a land of conservation organizations, and their goal is to protect, enjoy, preserve the land throughout West Michigan, save natural quality areas, and interact with nature. Highlands Stewardship, Lucas Dijkstra, who's been in the field for 2.5 years now, I asked him about what the struggles he faced, his organization faces, and this is what he stated. Kent County is a fast-growing county in Michigan, and much of the land is being taken up for urbanization, farmland, and much more. It opened my eyes to homes right now. It further inspired me to help monarch butterflies and work towards my action on the WMAS campus. For my action, I built a sanctuary not just for monarch butterflies, but for pollinators as well. Excuse me. Didn't think there'd be audio. Anyways, excuse that. I planted native plants such as hibiscus trees to red cardinal flowers, and I kept the native grasses around there as if I were to remove them, it would further destroy the ecosystem. Once spring comes back around, I will be helping my fellow peers with a fundraiser to sell native flowers. I will also be sharing information about the flowers and why you should plant them in your garden. Also, when spring comes back around, I'll be planting milkweed around the sanctuary so that these butterflies can start the next multi-generational journey. And in the spring as well, I'll be planting this sign to spread awareness about monarch butterflies and why we need to protect this sanctuary and make more. These butterflies are fading in front of us right now, and by the time we know it, they'll become extinct if we don't act upon it. Together though, we can stand up, make more habitats, and stop climate change as a group. Together, we can help these monarch butterflies. And before I conclude this presentation, I would like to give a special thanks to these people, as if they weren't here, they would never make this project come true. Thank you so much.